Welcome to part 1 of the ultimate guide for Roblox Dungeon Quest. Whether you're a new player or a returning one who could use a refresher, this video will be a worthwhile watch. Now, obviously, the first thing you should do when you start to play Dungeon Quest is to go to the tutorial. It'll explain some basic concepts and tell you how the game is played. But in this video, I'll be going more in depth and covering topics not included in it, starting with classes and items. There are 3 classes in Dungeon Quest: Warrior, Mage, and Guardian. Items, which are armor pieces, weapons, spells, and rings, something I'll get to in the next video, are assigned to a specific class. Armor pieces usually just say the class in the name, but you can also tell by the stats on the item. A higher physical power stat means it's a warrior item, spell power for mage. For Guardians, there's only armor, which purely provides health and is only good if you're a tank or healer for others. Some spells can heal players, but you need a mage weapon equipped for it to be effective. Your set, which is your equipped items, should all be of the same class rather than a mix and match. Dungeons have 3 armor tiers. Tier 3 is the best and are also collectibles, or collects. There are 6 rarities: common, uncommon, rare, epic, legendary, and ultimate. Higher rarities are stronger but also rarer. Up next, we have upgrading. Upgrading items, when done correctly, increases its power and therefore your damage output. Always upgrade items into its specific class, otherwise it won't be that good. Items upgraded into the wrong class are referred to as cursed items. At the lower level, cursing Guardian armor isn't that terrible, though it should not be done past level 75 or so. It is never worth upgrading health on armor. Use skill points for that. Once an item is fully upgraded or maxed into its intended class, that is referred to as its potential, more commonly simplified to just pot. You can calculate the potential of an item before upgrading it, and it's really easy. Take the amount of upgrades, multiply it by 10, take the base power, and add it all up. This gets you your pot. And it's correct. Although, items with a base less than 200 are calculated differently for some reason. Next, let's talk about skill points. You earn a skill point upon each level up. To use these points, first open your inventory, then press the tab that says Skills. You will see this menu. You can put points into 3 things: physical, spell, and stamina, which is health. Putting a skill point into physical or spell will increase your damage output by 2%. Putting a skill point into stamina will increase your base health by 5%. You want to put the majority of your points into physical or spell, depending on your selected class. You can also put a few, maybe around 10 and 30 points into health if you find that you are dying a lot in dungeons. If you're a Guardian, you want to put all of your points into health. Or you can go Glass Cannon, which is putting no points into health and all into physical or spell to maximize your damage. And don't worry, you can always reset and refund your skill points for a small gold fee. Spells. There are some spells that are better than others. I'll briefly list the best spells, in my opinion, for levels 50 to 100. You should keep using one spell until you can get the next one. I'll start with the warrior ones: Ground Slam level 50, Blade Throw level 73, Raining Slice 77, Lava Lash 90, and Flame Cyclone 93. For mage, it goes Piercing Rain 50, Phantom Flame 66, or Electric Boom 75, Earth Clap 90, and Illusion Blast 93. Flame Cyclone and Illusion Blast are the earliest spells that increase your movement speed. Also, inside of dungeon runs, you should be grouping up the enemies, also known as mobs, together to maximize your spell value and go through the dungeon faster. Moving on to Gregg. Gregg is a special boss that has a 1 in 3 chance of spawning in any dungeon. His health scales based on your level and the amount of players. Player damage scales so that it's fair for everyone playing. He also has a shield that blocks most damage, and you need to collect the coins in order to remove it. Defeating him will give you 3 items for your current dungeon, regardless of the dungeon you beat him in. If you ever find that you are under-geared for your dungeon, grinding for Gregg in a lower dungeon is a good strategy. You also get 1 through 3 material drops, though it's rare to get more than 1. The material type depends on the dungeon you defeat him in. If you get enough materials, you can craft special legendary swords, which are very strong and definitely worth getting. They cannot be traded or sold. External resources. There are 2 additional sources that can be very useful to your playing experience: the Dungeon Quest Discord server and the Dungeon Quest Wiki fandom. The server allows you to find more about game development and updates, get help from other players, trade with others, join guilds, and more. This is my guild, by the way. The wiki is useful for learning more information about items in dungeons, and is where I found many of the images I've included in this video. It also contains boss patterns and recommended health for dungeons, which is definitely worth checking out. Closing. Congratulations, you've made it to the end of part 1 of the Ultimate Dungeon Quest Guide. That's pretty much everything you need to know as you're starting out in the game. If you wish to learn more, there will be a follow-up video soon covering more advanced topics such as trading, boss raids and rings, and more. Good luck with your Dungeon Quest journey.